I'm sick of being an adult now, I'm tired and bored. I want to rewind the clock and go back to the way it was before. Take me back to a time when I didn't have any responsibilities, cause trying to keep on top of them is gradually killing me. There was a glorious era when life was kicking about a ball, cutting out posters of Shearer from Match and sticking them on the wall, playing out and letting my imagination run away, lacking around and causing havoc, seeing my mates every day. My hair wasn't great, my skin wasn't blotchy, and the only chore I had was cleaning up after my Tamagotchi. My parents were 35, I played on the Mega Drive. Rolf Harris was a legend and Mufasa was alive, and he wasn't CGI, he was a proper cartoon, like Animaniacs, Hey Arnold, the Rugrats and the Raccoons. Poppers were something you wore, your mum told you off when you swore. Anyone over 70 was a veteran who'd lived through the war.
I got asked a question earlier this week when someone found out I had a YouTube channel. What's the channel about? And that's a really easy question to answer. But then I thought to myself, well, what am I going to say? How do I describe what this is? What is my hobby? Is this my hobby? Is the painting the minis my hobby? Playing the games? Is it a accumulation of all those things? I thought a little bit before I answered. The answer that I gave them wasn't the one I expected. Let's have a chat after this. I was asked the question, what's the channel about? And then I realised, after going away and thinking about it, initially I just said, oh, it's miniature painting Warhammer, that kind of thing, and it was left at that. But when I went away and thought about it, it made me ponder what the channel is about and what I want to do with it. So one thing that I'm quite adamant about is that it's not something that I want to be a job, a career, or anything like that. And I'm getting the feeling that sometimes some of the videos I'm just putting out because I've got to put a video out. And that's not the position I want to be in. That's not what the hobby is for me. That's not what I started this channel for. Like I said in my previous videos, if you've watched those, I wanted to make good quality content and give something back to the community. So I really do genuinely get a lot out of this hobby. I've met some fantastic people that are now really good friends of mine all over the world. I do a podcast with some guys, hobby related, Warhammer, miniature painting, that kind of thing, which is fantastic. I love doing that. I love interacting with them. And I love painting. What I'm not overly keen on is doing stuff that other people have already done, and in my opinion done better than I've done, because, well, A, I'm learning, and B, my heart's not really in it. So kind of doing tutorial videos for the basics and such. I know I've had some really good feedback from people about how to do certain things, but I'm thinking I'm not going to do those anymore, or I'm going to do less of them, certainly not every week like I kind of was doing. I'm going to do the stuff that I want to do for me. I'm not really bothered about climbing that subscriber ladder and getting to a point where I can monetize or anything like that. For me, my hobby and my channel is about my hobby and my journey into that and what I get excited about. And if there's some people out there, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 100, I don't know, that are as interested in that small area of the hobby as I am and enjoy the content that I put out, then it's worth it. I enjoy making the videos, enjoy putting them together, editing I really enjoy, but ultimately it's the creative side of things. I like the hobby, I love the hobby because of the lore, and it's so different to my day job. It's a total removal of that from my head, and I can concentrate on something else. And that's something that I really want to keep separate the more I think about it. So I guess the answer to the question that I should have given about when I was asked what my channel's about, I guess it's about me and my hobby and my journey. I don't know what that looks like really. It's a number of things. It's all of the things I mentioned before, but it goes back further than that. It goes back to when I was a 10-year-old kid picking up Rogue Trader and losing myself in the story of that. Even though I didn't know what the game was about or the setting, it was just these cool space dudes with guns, and it was different, and it just captured my imagination. And even though I had that big break of time when I wasn't into the hobby for 20 years or into anything to do with modelling, painting, any of that stuff, I still always had like this fondness for Space Marines, and especially the Dark Angels. So when I came back to it and I picked that back up again, that's what I've gravitated towards. And I suppose one thing that really inspired me was other guys out there on YouTube, guys, girls, everybody, just content creators in the hobby space doing really great stuff. And I wanted to give something back to people coming along that maybe hadn't progressed as far down the journey as I had at that point. And I think I've done a little bit of that, and I'll carry on to do bits and pieces of it, but I want to explore some of the other stuff. So I think I'm going to do more of my painting journey, my modelling journey. I want to touch on a lot of the narrative elements to the gaming side of it that I really enjoy. My larger project of working on my Dark Angels company, the lore, the art, all the other things surrounding that I'm creating to kind of flesh it out. It's something that I would like to have out there going forward for people to expand upon if they ever wanted to. Maybe if I have any kids, that it'd be something that they could see, oh, this is what Dad created. And they could, I don't know, pick it up and do something with it. So yeah, I think that's where the channel's going to go. Hopefully people will stick around. I'll carry on doing bits and pieces of what I'm doing. I'm still going to upload a video every week. There might be more talky, montagey stuff of various bits of the hobby rather than just paint, model paint. So I'm definitely going to be touching more on the 3D printing aspect, the building aspect, the world building, the exploration of the lore of my headcanon that kind of fits into the 40k universe and where it fits in timeline wise, and all those other things that makes it my hobby specifically. So I think that's what I need to start doing now. I've got a couple of videos already stacked up, and I've got a couple of half-finished projects that I want to get done and out of the way, and then I'm kind of going to move on to those videos. I've got a whole pile of Marines to paint now. I want to get you guys involved in what I paint next after that. So keep watching, subscribe for that stuff if you want to get involved. Thought it'd be a little bit more fun than me just going through it sequentially. We'll see where we go. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff. I never thought I'd get 50 followers, let alone 150 or whatever it is where I am now. That's insane, because I'm really not that interesting, and there are way better people out there doing this kind of stuff, exploring the hobby and their hobby and tutorials than I'm ever going to be able to do. So thank you, it's great. Anyway, so that's where we are with the channel. I guess I'll see you next week. So remember, if you're gonna do crack, make sure it's plastic. See ya.
Is typical. It feels like almost every interaction is digital. The pace is uncompromising, the people are drones, and nobody looks at you because they're glued to their phones. They type when they're angry, but when you ask them they're passive. They think they're influencing people because their egos are massive. They're fragile and facile and more defensive than Rodman, and I can't even properly slate them because I'm part of the problem. I'm up to my eyeballs in gripes, too many to mention, man. Apathetic, lethargic and stale, I've got no attention span. I'm broken and bothered, bogged down, bombarded with news. I'm feeling feeble, facetious and fractious, frying my fuse. Like Anthony Costa, I've got a case of the blues. Dabba-dee, dabba-die, I'm paying my dues. I've got this far when I look back on it now, and life is rolling relentlessly, show no signs of slowing down.